Welcome to Monthly Money, where we take a look at someone's past month spending and the income that came in and see how that all comes together to get over the financial hurdles that are holding them back or meet the financial goals that they're trying to achieve. My name is Caleb Hammer, and today we are meeting with Alex. Alex, how old are you? Where are you based out of?
I am 23 and I am based out of Lincoln, Nebraska.
And what do you do for a living or anything in Lincoln, Nebraska?
So I work at a DNA sequencing lab in their sample reception department.
Okay. Well, what's your position?
So I work in sample reception. So I'm a tech. So basically, my job is to create orders and then make sure what the customers say they're sending in is what they actually sent in. Pretty basic.
Oh, okay. What do you bring in on a yearly basis, salary wise?
I think it's right under 32 gross.
Oh, it was sounding like such a higher paying job, but
Oh, I know.
32. Is there bonuses or anything, or are we just looking at that 32?
So there's that, and then I have a second job that is kind of like I work it whenever I feel like it, and that only pays like 14 an hour, which is kind of why it's like when I feel like it.
What's that other job?
So I work as a server at a retirement home.
Retirement home. Oh, okay. First time ever hearing that in my life, but someone has to do it, I guess. How many hours a week do you work on average?
Probably about at which job? Combined total or
No. Average for the 14 an hour server.
that tends to be around 10. Sometimes it pushes 20 though.
Okay. We'll just go off of 10 for simplicity's sake. So that brings in an extra $7,280,
Roughly.
roughly. Okay. I mean, that almost closes the gap to getting you to 40,000. So, and since you work a little extra, we're just going to call you 40,000 for now. Now, you mentioned beforehand that you were like right by campus. So, are you currently a college student or have you finished?
I was in college. I'm not anymore. I'm debating about going back currently.
What did you graduate with? What was your degree?
So I was looking in the school of journalism originally, but then I kind of wore off it and realized I'm not really sure if I want to keep doing that. So now I'm just looking at some generic business degree if I did go back.
Wait, did you get a degree?
No, I did not. I was only there for 3 semesters.
Oh, 3 semesters.
But
Oh.
in those 3 semesters, I finished all of the ACE courses, which are basically the basic courses that are required by almost every single major.
Yeah. Get those prereqs out of the way. Okay. So, what's some of the like financial struggles that I might be able to help with, or financial goals?
My biggest issue is basically saving money for the most part, and then also impulse control.
Hmm.
So those are the big ones.
Now, not to generalize, but luckily Nebraska's pretty cheap compared to places. Though Lincoln's probably on the higher end of the cheap scale for Nebraska.
I'm in one of the two cities that is kind of expensive.
All right. Well, let's take a look at your money. See what we can do here. So we have your checking account. It's going to be mean and not tell me what was put in starting balance and ending balance, but that's okay. Actually, there was a starting balance of 119, ending balance 679. 119, kind of a scary starting balance if we're going to be real, but that's okay. Let's see here. So we had deposits from like Venmo and stuff like that. Microsoft payments, so some subscription, if I had to guess.
Yeah, that's Game Pass.
From S, is that savings? You put 2,000 from savings in to checking?
Yes. Actually, I think you're reading that backwards because I think the statement actually starts on the 17th of October, and then on the bottom it ends on September 19th.
Well, you would be correct. Yep. Yep. Whoops. So you ended with the scarier balance. Oh, no. So you not only, okay, draft withdraw, where'd that go? $2,391.
That 2000, that check, that would have been registration on my car and the taxes on my car that I just bought.
Oh, that you just bought. Okay, I was gonna say if that was the registration for an RD. Oh, you just bought a car. Okay. Ooh, all right.
We can get into that car in a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So to S, to L. I don't know what L is. S for savings, L for something.
I
Online bacon withdrawal.
that would have been to the car payment on there on October 6th.
What was the $1,000 draft withdrawal? Was that all?
That would have just been rent.
Oh, $1,000 rent. Told you it was cheap.
That's actually for a 3 bedroom.
Okay. Yeah, and you are like right by campus too.
Yeah, and my rent's just a little over half that.
Okay. Oh, what?
Yeah, I just I write the checks for the rent, so my rent is actually only about, I think it's 549 for my share.
That's incredible. Okay. Wow. Well, congratulations. Enjoy that while you have it. So it's really just transfers back and forth and deposits. Trying to go through here. Not a lot of spending. You probably do the spending on the credit card. There was a Spotify subscription charge, Planet Fitness, and Best Buy payment. Okay, when it says Best Buy payment, did you buy something at Best Buy, or is this paying off like a Best Buy card?
That was just me paying on my Best Buy card. I had it's like a basic phone charger or something I needed. That's why it's only like $12. Not very expensive.
On a Best Buy credit card?
Yes.
I don't have a Best Buy credit card, do I?
I did not turn one in since there's only the one thing on it.
So there's no balance on there?
There is zero balance on it.
Okay, cool. Savings. This is where I went from $2,000 and then stuff was in, and then all of a sudden $2,000 out, ending with $449. So, yeah. And that has to do with the car stuff. Let's look at the Chase credit card. Available credit, $4,000. Pretty good. 23 years old. Nice. Current balance 58. How are you with paying off credit card balances?
Every 2 weeks, paid off.
Good.
And that Chase card's basically just a gas card.
I was going to say gas, and that was it. So the Discover card, Planet Fitness, you also had Planet Fitness on your checking.
That was because I had switched my auto pay to the Chase card, so I could get at least that 1% back on those reoccurring payments over the year.
What the heck is a Vala's pumpkin pack? Because there was like 4 charges in a row.
Oh, that was, I went down to pumpkin, like a big farm, group of like 20 friends. Spent like 50 to $60 that day. Yeah, was gone all day though, so it wasn't too bad.
Wine, beer, spirits.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
Utility, yeah. Lots of Target. What are we talking when we're thinking Target? Are these...
Target is actually mostly groceries for me.
Okay.
So when I go to actual grocery stores, I will spend like $80 at a time versus 30.
PlayStation Network, Raising Cane's, not a ton of eating out. The pumpkin thing was, it's kind of a seasonal thing. We have what would qualify under those probably like once a month still, but that was kind of this month's little adventure, if I'm to guess. Lots of recurring payments like Hulu, stuff like that, and Google something, Jet Splash. That's I guess you're washing your new car. Lincoln Electric System, utilities, I'm assuming, Wendy's, Jimmy John's, and a few more restaurants. It kind of really started the month. If this is also, you started the month, it looks like, with lots of restaurants, but a good amount of shopping as well. So, I mean, the saving, you could be shopping too much on groceries. We'll see. I want to see the full picture when you mention, like, all right, I kind of struggle with savings. $40,000. What do you feel you're bringing in after taxes on an annual basis? $30,000? $32,000?
Probably just under 30, roughly.
Just under, yeah.
It might have gone up slightly since I got a raise about a month and a half ago.
Yeah, I was hoping for a more generous side, but that's fine. $2,333 a month on average going into your pocket?
Yeah, about, maybe a little more.
Say $2,500. Okay. To give that a little more. $2,500, yeah, that's not an incredible amount of money to just... You can live on that, but in order to meet goals in the future, that can definitely be hard. Now, those are the accounts I have, so tell me about this car.
So I had put a initial down payment on this car back in July, and it was a 2023 Subaru Impreza.
Yeah.
My old car, which I was going to use as a trade-in, actually got wrecked by someone who did not have insurance. And I made the dumb mistake in the 2 months I did not have liability, full coverage. I got hit by a driver who did not have insurance.
Nebraska doesn't require. Okay.
I'm actually waiting on the court to figure this out currently.
Okay.
And currently the damages was about $8,600.
What was your old car that got totaled?
It was a 2010 Chevy Camaro.
Yeah. How much did you put down in July on this car?
I put down about 1,000 just to reserve the car, and then my original the rest of the down payment was planned on my Camaro, which was, I believe, $12,000 they were offering me for it.
They were gonna give you 12,000 for the Camaro,
Yes.
and then you were gonna use that, so it was gonna be $13,000 down.
Yes.
What was the purchase price of this car?
I believe it was about 27,000.
It's a little expensive for what you make, unfortunately. Unfortunately. So you obviously got the car. How does it look today? How much ended up going down in total?
So they actually took the car that had gotten wrecked on trade-in for just under $5,000, which isn't the greatest. So I still owe 23,000 on the car. But once I get the payment from the court or whoever hit me, I'm just going to throw all of it at the car, and then it'll be down drastically again.
Do you have a lawyer?
I'm currently working with the county attorney since it was high enough damages, but I don't have to pay for a lawyer.
Okay. What I'm just trying to assess, like, what's the likelihood of you getting this 8K?
So the likelihood of the 8K is looking like 50-50 right now.
Hey, that's not good. What's your monthly payment on this car? How many months?
So I had actually bumped it up to 60 months because it gave me a lower interest rate, and I'm just going to pay it off faster. Because I think at 48 months they had me at like 4.8%, and at 60 months they were able to put me at 3.9.
Okay, your interest rate's not terrible. That is, if we have to find a piece of good news here, would be that 40 months monthly payment is
441.
Did you have debt on your last car?
I did not. No, that was paid off.
So you're gonna have debt on this car, which means your insurance is actually gonna be a little more expensive. Have you felt that?
My insurance is actually about the same.
Okay.
It went down slightly since I went from having a sports car to just a economy car.
Very fair.
See a single insurance payment on my credit card statement.
Very fair. 441. That is $2,500 a month in cash ish. Needing to work a second job. A $450 car payment is kind of aggressive.
Yes. Why
did you do this?
Because I was looking at newer cars in general, because just the car market in general. I was looking at getting something that was like a 2018, 2019 originally. Say that was a couple years old, and all of those had 30 to 50,000 miles on it roughly, and they were only like $2,000 cheaper than buying new at the time. And my dad's a mechanic, and he basically just said it would just be worth the headache, or worth saving the headache, and just have all the maintenance done by you. You know what's happened to the car. I treat my cars great.
Mechanics, having a mechanic father, definitely a great asset when it comes to the worth of purchasing a car. Mechanic doesn't equal knowing personal finances, though. And this, it's not dangerously okay. Your portion of rent, you said, is 500.
540 something.
Okay, well, with that combined, then pretty much $1,000 of your $2,500 is immediately eaten up by rent and car. And then you have utilities that you split with roommates, I'm assuming.
It tends to be around about $90 a month combined. That's with internet. That's gas, electric, internet.
Yeah. And then you did spend a good amount having fun, which it wasn't a crazy amount of money, but for your income and what's left after these mandatory expenses was kind of a good amount on the Discover card. Let's See, I'm trying to see the total spent. You may have cut off, did you cut off the first page by chance?
I did not. I just sent the exact form. I just kind of cropped all of the payments for the same time period.
Yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, go ahead.
But I tend to have between about 450 to 500 on my card bi-weekly.
Oh, bi-weekly. Yeah, the bi-weekly definitely changes that. So if that is followed perfectly every single month, that leaves $500 left. If, you know, the side job is being worked. For the 3 semesters you went to school, student loans,
Yes,
federal,
all federal.
so probably going to get forgiven if the court stuff, you know, all that gets updated.
And if it doesn't, there's only 7,200.
Okay, well,
As I had already paid about 3 grand off them.
okay. Good thing 7,200. You're under that 10, so okay, cool. So we'll just pretend like those don't exist right now, or maybe we can give a couple different thoughts based on that as well. But so obviously this car is very expensive. Tell me about any other debts. Are there any other debts?
There are no other debts. My only debts are the loans that will more than likely get forgiven at this point. If not, my payments are like $60 a month. It had a low, I don't remember the exact interest rate, but it was not high.
So I think our main concern here right now is, gosh, I wish within these last couple, I used to be very up to date on the car market in these last few weeks because I just haven't really had car conversations, haven't been as up to date where it is now. One thing what you were talking about was 100% correct, especially from the dealership perspective with the used cars. Maybe it wasn't 100% worth it. Maybe it was okay at the height to, maybe it was okay at the height to justify brand new. That being said, there still are private sale options out there. It's going to be more expensive than it typically would be. And what people that I've talked to have had a hard time with is the patience of looking for a car. And then they don't trust the private sale, which they shouldn't. But what people fail to do is then take it to a mechanic. Fun fact, your dad is one. And give you the thumbs up that, okay, yeah, this purchase would be a good purchase. This car will last. That's what I wish you did. How long have you had this car? When did this close?
So it actually wasn't originally supposed to even get delivered until mid-October, but it showed up at the beginning of September. So I was originally planning on having a larger cushion than I did, and then I was already kind of down. My car had gotten hit a month before it happened, and it was kind of struggling to drive, honestly. But it was running.
How far away are you right now from the lab?
I'm only about a mile and a half, but my other job is 6 miles away.
Income problem, car to income problem. What might make more sense right now for you? Because I mean, the way this went through with the delivery car, I doubt that the return, I doubt you could beg into a return. The sales probably not looking good just based on the little information I have about the car market these last few weeks. I don't know. I think you're kind of stuck in this And okay, if the 8,000, what was it, 8,500? If you win that, I mean, that'd be incredible. That would take it down to, like 19. That still sucks, but 19,000. But I'd be able to stomach that more. What I would think. This is what I would think. Non-official financial advice if I were in your shoes. If you get the $9,000 or $8,000, put it towards it immediately, all of it. If you don't, look into what you could get to get out of this car. I don't know what that looks like right now. Because the car market's just been fluctuating, so I just have to throw that out there as like what does it look like? If it looks like you might only swallow a couple $1,000s in losses, it's going to be worth it for your situation, especially if you're thinking of going back to college as well. Because the income might fluctuate there. Doesn't necessarily have to, but it might. But yeah, so if you get the 8,000, throw it towards it. If not, look into maybe getting rid of this car. However, if you're gonna swallow like $10,000, it's not worth it in this case. We just need to focus on getting your money up.
And if I do get that 8,500, that would put me at 16,500 left to pay off the car.
16.5. Okay, cool. Yeah.
And then I'm also looking at getting a promotion at work. I'm just simply waiting for a spot to open on the team. And I think the starting salary for this position, it is a salary position, it's not hourly. I think it's 42,000.
Okay.
So that would bump up my income about $9,000 a year.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. No, that'll be great.
And then we actually go in a busy season starting at the end of November. And at that point, I should be able to pull an extra 10 hours of overtime, which is time and a half there. So roughly $25 an hour.
Okay.
That's about an extra $1,000 a month pre-tax, probably about 700 after taxes and retirement withdrawals.
Yeah, that'll help. So this college thing, what are your ideas around that in terms of where to go, what to study, how to pay for?
I would probably just go to at least finish part of it to the associate's level at the local community college here. That should only be a couple grand, and then just cash flow it, and then finish my degree across the street.
And maybe by the time that happens, you'll have enough saved up to. Cause you're from there, right? Or you've been at least.
Yes.
Okay, so you get in state. Hopefully have enough saved up by then.
Am I right? Also should be going down too.
Okay.
So I live in a 3-bedroom. I only have one roommate currently, so there is an open bedroom, and that would lower my rent down $152 a month.
Okay, and every little bit helps. So I think the goal then, the car situation stays the same as I explained before. If you get the money, keep. If you don't, look to get rid of it, unless it would just be a big loss. And then if you do that, then just scour as a full-time job the private sale market and make sure your dad gets a peek on it. And then get something around the 10,000 and get that financed through. You can get like a local bank or something if you want, whatever.
I have a credit union.
Yeah. So that's what I would do with the car situation. Focusing on the school situation, cash flow the community college when you're ready to start doing that. You don't rush into it. You don't have to rush into it. When you're ready to start that, do it. And then while you're doing that and before, this is where I'm a little... My math brain versus emotion brain gets a little interesting. I would rather, from a mathematical perspective, have you once the $8,500 we're assuming goes to the car, you then just pay the minimum monthly payment, and everything else that you're saving goes to saving up to cash flow the final 2 years of a business degree at the 4-year institution. Because I think that is going to be a better return on your investment than paying off 3.9% interest rate. That is the mathematical side. Emotional side, the car... Yeah, it's taking longer than I think everyone expected for the car market to get closer to normal, but at some point it probably will. I have to say probably because nothing's guaranteed. But it overall, yeah, so 4% on a depreciating, what will supposed to be a depreciating asset, something that breaks eventually as well. Typically you want to pay that off earlier, but I think the minimum monthly payment, taking the rest into a high yield savings, and then cash flowing the craps out of the last 2 years at the 4-year institution so you do not have student debt, I think is a better use of the money. That's math. If you feel it makes more sense for you and your emotions to pay off the car early, nothing wrong with that. Totally justified. Go for it.
What would you say if I decided that I did not want to go and finish school?
Oh,
that was also a possibility.
Totally fine. Not everyone needs to go to school. Then we just need to focus on getting you a better career position. And that can take the form of, many ways. Continue to build up your resume and look into different fields that you want to get into just based on your experience. Maybe moving to an area with a more intense job market in terms of the world of like working in sales or customer service, even for tech. I know customer service people who make much more than this, but they're just in the tech area, and I don't know what the field looks like in Lincoln. You know, it might take a move, it might take staying where you are, building up some resume experience, it might take building some connections, but I think the full time, if you don't want to go to school, the full time job for you is finding a job that pays at least $50,000 a year.
Yeah. That's kind of why I wanted to switch teams initially at my current job, because it would put me into more of an administrative role on the data team. And then from there, I could use that role to move into higher paying jobs as experience versus getting a degree.
Yeah. And honestly, if, again, I don't know this place specifically that you're working at, but knowing a few of my friends who have worked in the lab area, especially within the animal testing space, I know that even without a degree, you can start at kind of a minimal wage, and then over the years, people accelerate to a really well-paying career position. And if it's something you enjoy working in the space that you're in, you could totally find a career track internally and make sure you're keeping that communication open with superiors that you enjoy what you're doing and you want to accelerate within that field.
Yeah, and that's kind of my plan currently. I am in talks with my supervisor currently, and he's all for me moving up to a different department, even if that means cross training and then working some overtime across the hall in the extraction lab, or just staying in sample reception. I know on Monday this week, I was there until about 8 o'clock. I normally get off at 4:30.
Heck yeah. No, I mean, I'm totally good with, in a general concept, quiet quitting for people who are happy in their position, don't want any more, and they just want to, well balance life outside of work and life inside work. But if you have ambition, and I think you should, in order to get a higher salary, in order to live the life you want to live and meet the goals you want to meet, if you have that ambition, then no laziness, no complacency. You need to grind internally. Make sure that people don't find any complacency from you, and that you're grinding it out, and then you'll find that you get picked, unless there's any no, never mind. We're not gonna go that way, unless there's anything weird or salty with like people getting hired that are like kids or favored or whatever. You should find that you are selected over people who are just kind of just doing their job and then going home.
Yeah.
Both ways are good, but if you have the goal to move up, then work your ass off, grind, and I think you will. I think you will. It might be worth looking for. I mean, that overtime that you mentioned within the lab, that would be great. It might be worth again, Nebraska. I barely know anything about Lincoln, but I know for a fact here in Austin, and this will probably be more than Lincoln, but people bring in like $60,000-$70,000 a year driving Uber Eats here. That could be a good side hustle with your car, especially if you're taking care of it and being safe. And college towns are usually pretty condensed, so you probably don't have to drive too much. That might be another option besides this service thing at the retirement home.
I'm definitely considering it. I'm also looking at possibly working for my sister. She owns a nonprofit, and she would probably be able, depending on her current positions and whatnot, she could probably scoop me in there at like 16, 17 an hour when she gets spots open again.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, working with family can always have, a little interesting thing, but if you think it's healthy and good, then certainly don't have anything against that.
All right.
Any final thoughts?
Um, I gotta start paying this car off.
Well,
I'm good at paying cars off. When I bought my Camaro, I had taken out a 3-year loan, and I had paid it off in 13 months.
yeah, that's great. If you're not going to go to college, I would definitely pay this off early. Yeah, I forgot to mention that when you said, well, what if I don't go to college? Then, yeah, that extra money I would put towards this. I'd also make sure you have a good emergency fund. You don't really have that right now. I'd probably, in your standing, get it to at least $5,000 before you start aggressively paying off the car. But once you get it to about $5,000, then kick the crap out of the car if you're not going to college.
And I'm thinking by probably March or April, my tax return should probably fill in that last bit of the emergency fund, and then I could just start kicking this car's butt.
Cool.
Which was the plan from the beginning. Actually, 4% was the area where I decided that I was not going to buy it, and my bank was able to get me right below 4%. So I just decided to go with it. Worst case scenario, I sell the car for the same amount I bought it for.
Yeah. Sorry, I cut you off though. So, any final thoughts?
Um, no, not really. I think I just need to increase my income, kick the crap out of this car, and then if student loans don't get forgiven, I'll just chop those out real quick. Just get them out of the way.
So overall, I think Alex has a pretty decent financial situation. Obviously, that car wreck sucks, and the legal thing sucks. Hopefully, he gets that money. And I know it's a hard time to buy a car. I always struggle with that one, and I always struggle with the interest rates that are low as well because I like using math brain over emotion brain. Uh, so it's a difficult one. Obviously, he makes a pretty low income. Luckily, he lives in a cheaper area. I mean, rent $500. What? I'd love that. No, I don't pay rent, but I would still love that if I were paying rent. Yeah, $441 a month car payment though. It's hard. Going back to college versus trying to figure out the career path. Interesting thing to juggle. So, when it comes to Alex's overall financial situation, I'd give it a hammer financial score of 7 out of 10. I think because I think there's a good upward trajectory shot that he can really take if he decides to grind it out, but it also has some risk in it with a pretty high car payment, no emergency fund and stuff like that. But if you have a financial situation or a financial struggle that you want me to take a look at, just like Alex, feel free to email me, castingcalebhammer@gmail.com. That is also found in the description below. And subscribe and stick around for more. Thanks.